Hi, you're with Scott. This is Battery Exhausted, my vlog. This is your right ear and your left ear because we're in mono. Mechanum is itself heavily defended by atmospheric interceptors, intruder detection satellite droids, and war droids. With 1, 2. Spooky, weird static. That's spooky. I wonder if this is recording it and capturing it. Some sort of static interference. Whoa. I didn't do anything then. Oh, it's back. Okay, so like I don't really believe in ghosts. I believe in jinn. Alright, I'm going to do a quick start here. Could just be my headphones. It might not be the actual recording. How am I going to tell? It's this wire. It's just that wire. It's not ghosts, it's just a wire. 1, 2. It's not ghosts, it's just a faulty wire. I was going to do a little like speech about ghosts then. Now I've noticed there's a fly in the room. God. What should we do first? Let's try and get the fly out. Come on, Mr. Fly. I think you'll like it better out there than the rest of the whole world instead of just over there. In that one little bit of room. Come on. No. Further away, not. Come on. Where are you now? Think I've done it? See? You don't have to kill flies. You can just tell them to go. They'll just go. Navin's over there. You can't see him, but he is over there looking at me. Oh, buddy man. My little buddy man. Makes me want to go and get a camera so I can take a picture of you looking at me. Maybe later. And we'll edit it in. Anyway. He doesn't know who I'm talking to. He thinks I might be talking to you. I am talking to you now. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Now I'm talking to this. Okay? You're a good boy. Now I'm talking to the internet. Okay. Ghosts. Yeah. Like, lots of people have different beliefs. I'm not here to trample on your beliefs, but just to talk about some ideas that I had. Like, if ghosts exist, that's a lyric from one of my songs, actually. If ghosts exist, then there are millions and billions of them, and I bet they follow me when I drive late at night. That's my lyrics. But that's a different thing altogether. We'll come to that song in another video. But if ghosts did exist, then everyone who had died would potentially be able to come back as a ghost, yeah? Or in whatever thinking, you know, maybe it has to be some sort of trauma or whatever, but, you know, it's not just kings and queens and Elizabethan people that have died. No, it's modern people as well. It's people from every single generation. So if ghosts existed, how is it just like these 1 or 2, you know, medieval ghosts have persisted and they're the ones that people see, instead of it being like, as you go down the M40, there are like 20 or 50 people who have died in car accidents, you know, lined up by the side of the road. Like, where are all these other ghosts? Like, why is it just really old, ancient people who get to be ghosts and haunt a castle? You know, why aren't like council houses and high-rise towers and, you know, anywhere else? I don't count. Why aren't normal modern buildings haunted? Because normal modern people die. You see what I'm saying? So I would think that if those haunting style ghosts existed, then there'd be so many of them that it'd be impossible to deny it, you know. But it is quite clearly the case, and quite obviously true, that your brain can cause hallucinations and you can hear things and see things, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's just your brain is capable of doing that. I mean, that's one of the capabilities of our brain, and sometimes it can trick us. You know, your optical illusions and your whatever. You know, there's lots of different brain tricks that happen, aren't there? And the way our brain makes up image, you know, through light, which is actually waves, and then it converts it into an image for us, and we can't see all the different waves of light and all that business, you know. Yeah, so going on a ramble there. But what I'm saying is, the reason I kind of don't believe in ghosts per se in that context, in that, ooh, I've come back from the dead because, you know, is because we'd be overrun with them. Like, there'd be more ghosts than people, wouldn't there? I don't know, actually. Are there more people, or have there been more people that died? I'm sure I could find that out on the internet somewhere. But there'd be fucking loads of them, and I just don't see it. Yeah. So with that static thing, I wasn't like, oh my God, there's a ghost. Although I do believe in jinn. I believe in the unseen. I'm just going to move that so it doesn't fall off the table, and that's what's pulling the wire. You see, there you go. That was it. That was the problem. This thing's fallen off the table. But in what jinn, right? In the Islamic faith, there's this. There's the idea of the unseen, which is a world that we can't understand because we can't see it. Right? That just kind of like really loosely describes it, and it's quite a good description. And it's really interesting to me that in a lot of Islamic, in the Quran, it kind of nails modern science quite a lot. And no one had any business knowing this back then. And then when they've worked it all out and found it all out, it turns out that what it said in the Quran was a fucking really good description of it. And so it's really interesting to me that at the moment, scientists are just discovering dark matter and the idea that maybe 80% of the world around us, like in a sort of universal context, like, you know, in the solar system, within our galaxy or whatever, 80% of this stuff is unseen to us. Dark matter, we don't know what it is, we can't measure it, we just kind of know it's there. And I'm not going off on a big physics video, but that idea of the unseen, you know, I kind of do believe in that, insofar as it's not the same as being agnostic and saying, like, I don't know, yeah, it just, there's stuff that we don't understand, yeah? And the idea of jinn, which when God created the earth, first he created angels, and they're subservient to God, so they existed, and then he created jinn, which are like, he made us out of, it says, you know, I'm loosely translating, like a glob of mud, glob of clay. But the way I look at it, you know, and the way I think you're supposed to look at things in the Quran is, you know, that's like a metaphor, isn't it? You know, we're made out of the same material as the rest of the earth around us. You know, we're carbon-based life forms, aren't we? And, you know, we're kind of part of this whole cycle, and we eat plants, we ingest them, they grow out of the clay, of the mud, you know, we created us from that. But jinn were created from a smokeless fire, okay, or a smokeless flame. And that's kind of like a weird idea, like a smokeless flame, a fire without smoke. But then, you know, look at what we have in modern science. We've got things like lasers, and we've got things like energy. And I'm not talking in the sort of spiritualist, you know, healing chakra energy, which we're going to come on to in another video. Because I'm not so certain about the idea of people selling hope without evidence, you know. But the same might be, you know, lined at religion, mightn't it? But my point is that jinn, smokeless fire, energy, things we can't see or understand, you know, that world exists in physics, and we're learning loosely and a little tiny bit in our generation. But it was alluded to all the way back there in the Quran. And so I do believe in jinn, spirits made out of a smokeless fire. Might sound a bit mental, but you've got to also understand that if they did exist, then everything we've ever known has existed with them alongside. So it's been assimilated into our culture in some way. The idea of this unseen spirit world, has been assimilated into our culture in some way across all cultures. And maybe that comes to the Jungian archetypes, maybe that enters into that idea that we have a collective consciousness, that maybe we're not individual computers doing our own little computing in our own little box, but maybe in some way we're connected up to an internet of ideas, of consciousness, and that we can't download the whole internet onto our little box. So we just have our little box and we access it, in different ways. That's a reasonable modern analogy of the Jungian idea of collective consciousness, I hope. And that has been a bit of a ramble. And I hope you've enjoyed it, because it's got to be cut short here, because I've got to get on with reading this book, which is why I'm sat here with the microphone and the book. And if you've watched my vlog, you'll have seen the Falcon Book Project video. If you haven't, then you can go and watch and find out what this is. I'm at number 239 of 400 and so. 420. I'm at number 239 of 420, but that is sort of 2/3 through the book. So I'm hoping that I'm going to finish reading this today, if I shut up talking to you. I'm hoping I'm going to finish reading it today and start editing it. Start editing the ASMR videos I've recorded too. I'm building up an editing backlog. I'm going to finish this first, and then we're going to start hammering out the edits. So that's what's going on. And I'm, committed. Said in another video, didn't I? In another video, if you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. And I said I was going to, so I'm going to. In the past, I've said we'll do it in another video, and comments have been left, and I have been building up a little note file. I need to cover vegan pets. I need to cover crime and punishment. If there's anything else that I've promised that I will talk about in a vlog, or there's a topic you want me to ramble about or discuss from my own perspective, or the way I see things, or whatever. The Brexit rant got quite a lot of views. I think that was probably because people were watching it because they didn't like what I was saying rather than they did. Dunk. But yeah, so if there's anything you want me to talk about, please leave a comment, and I will make a list file on my computer or whatever, and I will be getting to those ramble conversation pieces in time. So don't think I've forgotten you. I do remember saying I was going to do a vegan pets video, and I do remember saying I was going to address crime and punishment. So add your request to the list, if that's what you want from me. Look, I've got to get on with this now. Be good, my little Pukkos. Be good.